coffee chat last week with someone, and she actually was a person who I landed on their website prior to us being connected through this chat. I landed on her website because it was built by a web designer that I follow online and I admire her work. I think it's very, very beautiful and out of the box special. And that's something that I really pride myself in, making a beautiful website design. At the same time, my beautiful designs are also focused on conversion, all about making money with your website. Well, cut back to the call that I had with this person, and I was just sharing how beautiful the website was, and I asked how it was working for her. And what she told me is that she loves it, she thinks it looks pretty, but she hasn't had an inquiry from the website in a number of months, and she's wondering what she might need to change to make it work a little bit better for her. And here's the thing that not a lot of people talk about when it comes to websites that actually make you money. A lot of times, it's not about what you add to the website, it's actually about what you remove. Or better yet, what you never put there in the first place. And because I love chatting about high converting websites, today I want to share 15 things that high converting websites just don't do. And some of these might surprise you because I feel as though they go against everything you've probably been told about good website design. So if you're wondering why your beautiful website isn't bringing in the clients or why visitors aren't taking action on your site, then this episode is for you. Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high-performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B, web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. Hello, thank you for joining me. We're talking about high converting websites, my favorite thing to do. And if you don't know me, or this is your first time listening, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jenny B, and I own Jenny B Designs. We are a brand and website design studio, and my goal is building beautiful but also high converting websites that attract your people, call them in, and encourage them to take that action that you want them to take, which in turn makes you money. Today, we're talking about high converting websites don'ts, and I've got a list of 15 things I want to share with you. Let's jump right into it. The first one, these are the obvious ones that I think most of us know, but they still trip people up. I can't tell you the number of times that I work with a client and I see this on their old website. And sometimes it's just, that standard, we think that a website needs to have this and we just go and do it. So here's a list. Number one, what we want to avoid. High converting websites, don't try to impress people with super flashy animations. Movement for movement's sake, it actually just distracts from conversions. Your website needs to guide a person through the entire site to take that action that we want to take. We're not there to entertain someone. I see this a lot on some of the e-commerce websites, a lot more than service-based websites. But you probably can picture the one that I'm thinking of. I've most recently seen the horizontal scrolls for some websites. So when you're scrolling down the page, instead of scrolling down vertically, when you start scrolling, it actually starts scrolling horizontally. And some of them have, animations or background movements going here and there, and it's a lot happening. Also, I see this in the form of slider. So when you land on a website, the first thing you see, and this happens a lot in the nonprofit world, you see sliders of images. Images are changing and the words are changing. It's flashy and it's a lot of movement. And I know clients put things there because they say, we're doing so many things. For nonprofits, we're working with so many different clients, or we have, programs going on and we want volunteers and we have events. Or if you are a interior designer, I see this a lot for interior designers. They have so many different pieces of work from their portfolio, they want to share them all up front. But when you add too much, it gets distracting and it actually hurts your conversions. So that's the first thing to avoid. Don't try to impress people with flashy animation. A little animation here and there is good. I love to do this with a pop of a button or an image that moves slightly. Perhaps it moves slightly up or down as you scroll through. Maybe there's a little logo that turns slightly, or a fixed background. When you scroll down the page, the image in the back doesn't move, but the words move over it. A slight movement here or there, but try to avoid those flashy animations, number one. Number two, they don't make visitors hunt for information. No buried contact information, no confusing navigation. Think about the 3-click rule. Everything should be findable in 3 clicks. Someone needs to get from your home page to your contact page within 3 clicks, or to your services to learn more about how to work with you with 3 clicks. People are busy. Respect their time. And that goes for your navigation. Keep that clean and simple. I tend to suggest 5 options or less in the top. Less is more when it comes to the navigation. Don't make visitors work. The third one goes along with this. Don't overwhelm with too many choices. Decision paralysis, it is real and it kills conversions. You want one clear step per page. What is it that you want someone to do? On the home page, we're driving people most likely to the services page to learn how to work with you. From the services page, we're driving people to the contact page to take that action to reach out to contact you. When you have too many calls to action, there aren't conversions. People get overwhelmed. And the same applies to your navigation, decision paralysis. 5 or less up at that top navigation. For service providers, typically about, services, contact, and then if you have resources, maybe a blog or a podcast, that could also be a singular option. If you have them both, then put it under resources and have a drop down. Less is more. Number 4, they don't use generic stock photos. You have to have a little personality today. You cannot use the standard stock photo that you've got with the team sitting around the table. Or I tend to see a lot of this computer with some pink flowers for a lot of the online women service providers. I see this all the time, and I know it's a stock photo. Use something that brings out your personality, your face. It builds trust much faster than faceless images. If you can, schedule a brand shoot or even a mini shoot. Just get a few photos of you, your team working, and not in the standard corporate setting, not standing against the wall with your hands crossed or, looking straight on at the camera. Maybe you sit at your desk and you have someone, you're looking at the camera and you're smiling there. Or if you're a designer, maybe you're out working or hanging up some samples on the wall. Think about how you can incorporate the work that you do and the transformation that you give to your clients in these photos. Number 5, they don't forget about the mobile users, the people that are coming to you on their phones. Most likely 60% of your traffic or more is on mobile. It's on the phone. I like to say that, for me, when I look at my statistics, mine are much lower. I tend to work with a lot of businesses, and businesses are coming to my website from when they're sitting at their desk. The same applies for service businesses that work with other businesses. You should look at your Google Analytics. This will tell. But people are on their phones. We are all busy. And when you think about the experience when you're on your phone, you want to have a simple mobile experience instead of that complex desktop experience. How does this translate? I like to remove some of the imagery when you're looking on your phone. Maybe you don't need as many pictures. Maybe you don't need as many words on a page. Perhaps I just need the essence of what's happening on that page and that button, that call to action button driving to the next step. Think about what your mobile user is going to experience when they come to your website from their phone and in the mode that they're in because they're busy, right? We're probably waiting for our kids in the pickup line or running errands and we have a few minutes in line and we're checking things out. We are busy. We want answers. Keep in mind the mobile user and make sure that you optimize your website for mobile. These next 3 I have for you talk about messaging. Number 6 is don't use industry jargon or vague jargon. Speak like your client, not your competitor. And transformation language is what you want to focus on. I always say clear over clever. That is what you want to convey, especially in that hero section when you first land on the website. I've been using AI a lot, and if you think about your copy, when someone lands on your website, the hero section, you most likely have 2 sentences. Look at those. Do you have industry jargon in there? Can people, potential clients, understand that they're in the right place, that you can help solve the problem that they have? Pop that copy into AI and give it a prompt and ask if they can simplify it, make it more clear, or ask, is it clear to a 7th grader? Will they understand what's going on my website? And go back and forth and see and make sure. I'm interrupting this episode to ask you a question. Is your website working as hard as you are? You've invested in a website, but if visitors aren't becoming paying clients, something's missing. My website audit is a professional review where I will analyze your site and identify exactly what's blocking conversions. You'll get a prioritized action plan with specific changes to turn more browsers into buyers. So stop guessing what's wrong and get some clear answers. Book your website audit today. The link is in the show notes. Now back to the episode. That the messaging that you're using doesn't include industry jargon. Number 7 is that they don't apologize for their business. I get this mostly with corporate clients when they are a smaller corporate client. And you can see this showing up as in your copy, words like we're new or we're still growing or we're just a small company of 5 people, but these types of disclaimers that are almost like you're apologizing for the stage that your business is in. I want you to own your expertise from day one. Be positive and know that you are making a difference. And it doesn't matter the size of your team. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. You have the expertise and knowledge to serve these clients and use that in your messaging. Don't apologize for where your business is at this point in time. Number 8 is hiding behind that professional corporate speak. And this probably goes hand in hand with the industry jargon. A lot of my corporate clients sometimes approach their website redesign and their messaging from that corporate lens. They're using that corporate jargon, synergistic solutions, or all of that corporate speak that your potential clients most likely aren't using. If your client is using that word, then yes, use it. But most likely they're not. Need to sound like a person, not a formal robot or a corporate robot or a press release. Don't hide behind that professional corporate speak. And even if you are a corporation, bring a little bit of human personality into it. You need to build that emotional connection. People want to buy from other people, even if you are a corporation. Nothing will set you apart more than having professional yet personal copy on your website mixed with professional yet personal imagery. Okay, number 9, these are some strategy tips for you. Don't try to be everything to everyone. When you try to serve everyone, you're actually serving no one. Specific messaging is important. You want to call in those ideal clients, those people that you really want to work with. And what you want to do is you want to repel the wrong clients. You really do. I want people to come to your website and say, no, this service provider or this person is not for me. We are not the right fit. This saves everyone's time in the end, and it makes it so that you are working with clients that you truly love and are excited to work with. Be specific. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Number 10 is don't hide your pricing or investment information. Transparency. And I think I talk about this pricing on so many different episodes. I firmly believe that you need to list your prices. We are all busy. Time is valuable. And when someone comes to your website and you don't have pricing there, the first thing they think, and most likely they're going to think this, is that you're too expensive. That's what we think when we walk into a store and, there are just a few different You think of a clothing store and there are just a few different racks. You walk in there and you just think expensive, right? And so I want you to have your pricing, have transparency on your website. If you don't want to include the exact pricing because perhaps you're like me, you do proposals, then perhaps a starting range or clients typically pay. Make sure that you have something so that people can self-identify if it is the right fit financially for them or not. And this actually attracts higher paying clients. Higher paying clients value transparency. And when they see something that's valued at what they believe should be the value for that product, even if it is higher than someone else, and your copy and messaging supports this, this will attract those clients that you want to work with. Number 11 is they don't treat every visitor the same. There are different entry points with your business for different types of clients. And not everyone is going to visit your website the same way. For example, you might be writing content on your blog and you write a really great blog post about whatever it is. And Google gets that blog post and all of a sudden it's showing up in search. People are entering your website through your blog post. Some people are entering your website through your homepage. They're coming because they did a search and your website came up. Maybe someone recommended your website and you're sending them through the services page. Every visitor is coming to your website and it's most likely coming to a different place, and they're not going to be the same. I want you to think of when someone comes to any page on your website, what is the experience for them? And if you have different ways to work with you, or if you have different, I want to say like levels of commitment. When someone comes to my website, I have a high investment for my service, right? And not everyone is ready to work with me right away, but they might want to get more information about websites that convert. I have content on my blog about my podcast and about some tips and tricks that I share with a lot of people. I also invite people to sign up for my weekly newsletter, which if you're not already on, you can get to it at jennybdesigns.com/newsletter, where I send one website tip a week on every Thursday. I'm inviting them to join my email newsletter list. I'm inviting them to subscribe to my podcast. And eventually I'm inviting them to reach out and contact me to have a discovery call. There are different ways that they can work with me, and I don't treat every visitor the same. Keep that in mind. Now, number 12, this is about psychology. The high converting websites don't pretend that problems don't exist. I know that when someone's coming to me, they have a problem. Their website isn't turning the visitors into clients. They're not making money with their website. It is not converting. And I also know that my investment is a little bit different than a typical developer's investment. When you hire, I tend to see a lot of website designers that are more on the enterprising level. It's a different type of experience than working with me. And what I do is I share that in my FAQs about what it's like to work with me. I am addressing these problems head on, these objections. I'm not avoiding them. My messaging is all aligned to share with why you want to work with me over someone else and what makes me different and why you might not want to. That's okay too. Why I might want to repel you. But don't pretend that potential objections don't exist. The number 13, they don't rely on hope-based marketing. The if you build it, they will come mentality. This happens a lot when you launch a new website. I built a new website. It's on fantastic. Now everyone is going to come. But the thing is, there's a lot of work with getting people to come. That goes into your marketing. Understanding that when you put the work into marketing, getting the word out, sending people to your website, that every page on your website has a purpose, a clear next step. And you're looking at the data. I have a whole series on analytics, episodes 50 to 52, talking about how to read your analytics. But you need to use these data-driven decisions over gut feelings and make changes based on the data. Don't rely on hope-based marketing. Number 14, they don't treat their about page like a resume. And this goes back to the messaging. Your life story, starting from college, isn't going to convert your visitors. Listing all your accomplishments and your achievements in a bulleted list is not going to work for you. Your about page needs to be about them, about the client. The story should be why you are best suited to solve their problems, not just a list of things that you've done and why someone should choose to work with you. You can go back to episode 16, how to create an about page that attracts your ideal clients, and that will give you a lot of tips on what should actually go on this about page. And then finally, and this is probably one of the most important ones, is that they don't assume people will read everything. We don't. We're busy. People are busy. They skim, they scan. And that means you want to avoid walls of text without visual breaks. Try to use bullets and lists. Break things up with imagery and slight animation, just slight here or there, because people won't read everything. If you go to one of the pages on your website, I like to do the test where you just read the headlines. Does the page make sense just reading the headlines? You really want it to, so that someone can get what they need, but they don't have to read every single word. And of course, just understanding that there needs to be a button, a call to action guiding them to their next step. Those were my list of 15 things that I put together. And, big picture is that high converting websites, they understand that less is more. And they focus on what their visitors need to take the next step, not what looks impressive in a portfolio. And this goes back to my example. I saw this website and I was like, wow, that's like a pretty cool website. But truthfully, it wasn't doing its job. And if it's not doing its job, then looking really, really cool is not going to be a good thing. It is important that your website works 24/7 to attract those ideal clients and move them towards working with you. Now, where to start? I just listed 15 things. Pick just one of these don'ts that resonated, that you really thought, oh, gee, I do that on my website. Pick one. And can you remove or simplify something related to that one thing that I mentioned on your website this week? Doesn't have to take long. Make one little change. And if this episode has you looking at your website with fresh eyes, that's what I wanted. A lot of times we get so close to our own businesses, we can't actually see what's stopping our websites from converting. And this is really where a set of professional eyes can make all the difference. I offer website audits where I can look at your site and give you a clear plan for turning it into a conversion machine. If you are interested, you can book a link in the show notes for a website audit. And if you want more tips like this delivered right to your inbox, you can also join my Website Design Made Simple newsletter. I shared about that earlier, where I give you one actionable tip each week that will help you make more money with your website. Remember, your website needs to work for your business, not against it. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.